And now, Minion Works presents Freelance Heroism.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees,
And I'm Rachel.
and we just want to say, before we even get started, thank you to all our patrons out there, in particular people who donate at the producer tier. You help us make a better show for everyone. So everyone just give them a big round of applause. Studio crowd. Actually, wait a minute. Hold on, I gotta bring it down because there's socially distanced in the crowd.
Oh.
So it's like... But don't let the size of the applause fool you. We're just being responsible out here at Freelance Heroism. We still appreciate it. Rachel, would you like to tell us who they are?
I would love to.
Woo!
So,
Sorry.
we want to say thank you to Rebecca, the Minion Works, Orient_Tiger, Chris Deeds, Chris Sones, Christopher Hildebrand, Breakmeister, and Ario T-Wagon, and Mo Walker. Thank you so much, you guys.
Woot! Thank you guys so much. Really, it does mean a lot, and it helps us amp up our production for everybody. So you guys are responsible for everyone else having such a great show. That's great.
Yeah.
That's some cool shit you guys are doing. Anyway, so there was a few things I wanted to talk about, but I think maybe the most apt, the most important, that we get out of the way first, because I don't want this cut. I want this to stay in.
Oh.
No matter what.
Uh-huh.
The Amazon logo looks like a dick. Can we all just acknowledge that? Can we just all acknowledge that? I know they say it's a smile, but it's not. It's a dick. Look, I drew a graphic. Right? Hold on. Let me get it. Rachel, I'm going to send it to you.
You don't have to.
I'm gonna. Okay, so here's Amazon, and then I added balls on it. That's a penis. That's a penis. Look at that. Right? Okay. So I just wanted to look. I know we're not supposed to ask questions of our corporate overlords, but that's a dick, dude. Come on. And it's even. I don't want to say what's happening on it, but if you look at it, it's aiming for the only hole in the logo. Okay. Whatever. Pretend it didn't happen. We'll move on.
Okay.
I was just talking to a friend, and we were talking about a meme he sent me. It was this meme with some of the characters from DS9 in it.
Okay.
And I was like immediately on the hype train of DS9, trying to get him to watch it. And I was like, Dukat is the best villain in all of Star Trek, in any generation, any series, in my opinion. Because he's just so fucking evil.
Yes.
Right? Just out. And then at the beginning of the show, he's an evil guy. Right? He's a total fucking evil bastard. He's like Hitler at the start of the show. Right?
Yes.
And then as it goes on, he kind of goes into like some wizard evil. You know, like Jafar kind of maniacal, insane evil. And then spirals even past that and goes into some like worshiping the dark god kind of evil, which is, in my opinion, the best evil is the worshiping the dark god evil, right? Because it's like, this guy is a problem and he's not the end game. There's still a thing above him.
Yeah.
There's a game called Phantasy Star 4. And there's this bad guy Zeo, and you think he's the boss, right? And you beat him, and then his fucking power was granted to him by this thing called the Dark Force. The Dark Force is like a deity, this entity that exists on multiple realms and grants him power. So then you go to kill the Dark Force, and you do. After 3 combats with it, you kill the Dark Force.
Wow.
But it's not. It's a demigod that was granted power by this thing called the Profound Darkness.
What?
I know. It's the 4th game in the series, and for the first 3 games, Dark Force is the final boss.
Oh.
And then in the 4th one, you get this. It's like a stone angel with fire wings, and it's amazing. Like, it's
pretty cool.
My dad let me stay home from school so I could beat it. My dad, the strictest dickhead Marine of all time, was like, this kid is into this fucking game. You can stay home from school and beat it. And I was like, oh my god. I remember that so well.
That's cool that they had the sort of consistency of like the bad guy in the games.
Yeah.
I played, I was really into the Lands of Lore series, which is this old PC trilogy.
Right.
And in the first game, you, the king, who's voiced by Picard.
What?
Yeah, the
Patrick
king.
Stewart?
Yeah, Patrick Stewart voices the king. And
of course he does. He has to be. You never see him voice anything less than king.
And he gets like poisoned by this witch. So
what?
You're
that
sent,
bitch.
And she has like this mask that turns her, like lets her shapeshift essentially. And you are tasked.
Gotta kill that bitch.
To go to the Droracle, which is a dragon oracle.
A Droracle?
Yeah, the Droracle. To figure out how to cure the king and how to defeat this evil wizard lady with her mask. And the Droracle has this servant who is essentially just like this empty robe dude. And he's like really uppity, and he doesn't really like adventurers, but the Droracle is like the nice guy, and he's like, oh no, let them in, like, I'm here to be an oracle and tell people stuff.
Right.
But in the second game, you play as the son of the evil shape-shifting wizard lady, and you've been cursed by the mask that she had, so you shapeshift randomly and you can't control it, and so you go to the Droracle to try to figure out how to control this curse that you have. And nobody likes you because you're the son of this lady who tried to kill Patrick Stewart.
Can we just for a moment?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm totally on board with this. It sounds awesome. And I think we can all agree we got to get that bitch to die because she killed Patrick Stewart. I think we're all on board. But the Droracle is the worst sounding thing I've ever heard. It's just the word. I've been saying it in my head the whole time you've been talking. It's just over and over again. Droracle. It sounds like a cabinet that you wish to. Like, it sounds like the Indian in the cupboard, except for when you open it, it like tells you about how you're gonna die. The Droracle. Ugh.
But
I hate it.
In the second one, he still has his servant guy, who still doesn't really like people. He was like created by the Droracle to sort of serve him
just
and
call
help
it
him.
something that say Thing X. Just say Thing X.
And so in the third game, the Droracle, aka Thing X, he decides that his time on this mortal plane is done, and so he like ascends to some higher plane. But he leaves his servant dude. Like, he can't take him with him for some reason. And the servant guy gets mad about it, and he starts like screwing up magic all over the world, and so he's the enemy in like the third game.
That's cool.
Which was, it was really cool because it was like this familiar figure that wasn't an enemy in the first two games that I played.
I like it when the lore is cohesive and changing. Do you know what I mean? Like how circumstances will make certain people who might have been allies before into enemies now.
Yeah, because in the first couple games, he's just a guy who doesn't really like this plane, and he doesn't really like people, and he thinks that the Droracle is really too important to bother with these humans. But then he ends up getting left behind, and he's like, now I was created to serve this guy, and he's left, and now I'm stuck with these creatures that I hate.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be frustrating.
It was a really cool series, and it was...
Is it voice acted?
Yeah.
Damn. Do they say the word Droracle?
Yes.
God damn it. If it was text, I could just ignore it. I could just ignoracle the Droracle. But if it's spoken, just hearing. I think, you know what it is? I think drawer already has a bunch of R's in it. And then it's like roar. I hate that. Roar. Or I don't, man, it sounds like a dog choking. I don't like it.
The first game originally was not voice acted. Like, that's how old it was.
Yeah.
And so I think they probably just typed it out and like, we're going to combine Dragon and Oracle. Doesn't that look cool? And then later they were like, hey, we have a budget for voice acting now.
Let's never talk about what we're writing. Let's never ever say out loud what we're typing. It'll all be done in secret. I can't believe that happened. They had to have said it amongst the office, and there was just a tone deafness to it. They were like, "That sounds great. That sounds awesome."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I'm always happy to hear that someone was stoked about something from their childhood, and it still kind of like retains that potency, like to this day, which I think is why I was pushing so hard for my buddy to watch DS9, because I want him to have the experience that I had with it, which is unlikely that any person will replicate the same experience. But we watched DS9.
Yes.
And you were pretty close to having the same experience, I would think.
I loved it. I think of all the Star Trek series, I've probably watched most of DS9, like more so than any of the other ones.
You've watched all of DS9. The ones that we skipped were intentionally skipped. They were done with pre-thought and in some cases malice. A heartfelt anger towards some of those.
Heartfelt malice.
Yeah.
DS9 is great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think TNG is really, really good too. Mm-hmm. I think it's some of the episodes in TNG are as good, and some, in most cases, I'm going to say most, in some cases better than DS9. And I know that opinion is dangerous, because a lot of Trekkies and Trekkers, and I say both every time because they're like that, will get, because there's a subsection that are Trekkers and a subsection that are Trekkies, and if you get it wrong, they'll correct you in a way that takes a long time. So it's just easier, even though it sounds like it's taking me more time to say both, it's better to do it than to get caught in that gravity wave. So I've lived in this fandom for a while. I'm aware now of, this little bit takes a little longer to say. Yeah. But it'll save us in the long run.
Okay.
Or at least me. Most people just be like, fuck off. I'm like, you have to understand why you're wrong. So, like, the opinion I was trying to express, though, is that TNG has some episodes that are fucking amazing. The Drumhead is really good. I don't know why people dislike Time Zero. That shit's fantastic. It has Samuel Clemens in it. And he calls Worf a werewolf, which is amazing.
That was great.
All the Q episodes, even the first one where he freezes someone with what looks to be a fire extinguisher. Yeah, still good. Mm-hmm. But then, I mean, you've got bad episodes like where fucking Dr. Crusher fucks a ghost that also fucked her grandma.
Oh, no.
That was weird. I don't know who wrote that episode, but it was bad, and you should be ashamed of yourself for having done it. That being said, that's why we skipped a lot of those ones in DS9, because apparently that person didn't get immediately fired and beaten. They were allowed to write other episodes. I don't know if it's the same person, but the same trend continued.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I was just trying to convince him because I wanted him to have the same experience, and you sort of replicated my experience, which is nice. That's the ideal thing. It didn't work so good with Lost. We tried.
We did.
With Lost, and it didn't pan out.
I'm sorry. I wanted to like Lost.
You didn't. You walked in with an attitude.
I did not. I wanted to like it.
You walked into Lost with an attitude.
I wanted to like it.
You walked in looking through the bottom of your eyebrows. You had your eyebrows all low on your face, making angry angles.
Oh, okay.
And you were just ready to dislike. And hey, I'm with you on that. I wish it would have been about something else. You know? I wish it would have been about, I don't know, any number of things. But, you know, you chose Lost.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Whatever.
Okay.
Cool.
Do you want to get to this week's episode?
Not particularly. I want to shame you some more for Lost. But okay. But yeah, let's go to the episode. Okay. We'll do this off camera.
Oh, okay.
Or off tape or whatever.
All right.
Yeah, this is. We've been recording for 3 years almost. Hey, I'm just now learning what we're actually recording on.
You just think we have a conversation every week.
I think that this is our annual shareholders meeting, and that for whatever reason our lost futures are super down, and I'm trying to get them back on board, but for whatever reason the market just won't tolerate my lost futures.
All right, well, let's go to this week's episode, which is the second episode of The Mask and the Mechanism.
Woo! As soon as you have all kind of gotten your seats, he kicks off. So you guys in the boat are starting to head out into the water, and then he kind of looks around to make sure all the ropes are untied, and then hops onto the boat with you. Okay. He hands the two of you guys oars, and he says, that way, over there by the big thing.
All right, Thresh, get to paddling. I start to paddle. About 15 seconds in, I start to get pissed off because I notice we're going in a circle.
I was going to have you guys roll strength checks, but this is funnier.
I turn around to find Thresh not paddling.
I slowly pick the paddle up.
Yeah, this is a two-man job. He didn't give that to you for, fucking decoration. Put it in the water and push.
I start paddling.
Okay. I start to paddle.
He's going to look at Callie. They always like this?
Yes, yeah.
Fantastic. I have a guy who's sort of like that.
Would you like one more? And I'll point at Thresh.
No, I've got all I can handle right now.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Trust me.
Once we get to the boat, you aren't to say anything to the crew, with the exception of myself, Artemis, and Gator. He's just kind of like point to him.
Okay. Fair enough. Do we have, you said it's just a half day to get there, right?
Yeah, it won't take super long. He's like, our crew's pretty adept in these oceans, this body of water. We're kings of our domain, so to speak.
Understood.
It seems like before you even get there, this is maybe the fastest rigging you've ever seen on a boat. Seems like the way is up. Seems like all the sails are already down and being tied, and it seems like they're rotating the ship already to plot a course.
Okay. Good. Efficiency. I like that. Is
the crew, except for Artemis, all human?
Yeah, everyone in this town is human, with the exception of you guys and Artemis.
Okay.
So you get there. There's a rope ladder. Do you guys want to go ahead and roll me a climb check? It is tough.
Is that athletics?
Yep. No. Climb, right? Don't you guys have a strength to climb?
That's athletics for
climb.
climb.
Athletics.
Okay, sorry.
Yep.
15.
19.
Come on, Thresh.
I missed you step up there. Fuck that shit.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You guys are all up there. Once you guys get on the boat, he sort of says, well, have at it. Stand somewhere. Don't get in anyone's way. Shouldn't take us long. I'll get with you as soon as we have the course set.
Hendrix, before you leave, you don't happen to have like maybe a small room or something I could sit and talk to my kids in a bit?
Small room? It's a cruise liner? He's going to point. He's going to like, that's the captain's quarters over there.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing valuable in there that you can take. So by all means, have at it.
All right. I'll head into the captain's quarters with the kids.
It just looks more like where people would go to maybe yell at a man in private. It doesn't really look like there's a desk and rolled out frilly papers and stuff.
So it's a place where you go yell at people. Gee, damn it!
This is just like home.
Okay, so on the walls there's a lot of swords, blades of different descriptions, axes, things like that. They're all pretty rusty and dinged up. None of them look super valuable.
Grandma's room.
Once in a while, one looks nicer, but not anything to write home about.
Yeah, I'm not interested that much in the decor. I don't have any need for any of this stuff. I just wanted to get Callie and Thresh in private. So I turn to Thresh. All right. So I've heard her side of what's going on. Now, you tell me what you've been doing over the past 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, surprise! You missed 3 of Grandma Karen's birthdays. Congratulations.
Fuck yes! Woo! Oh, that old hag.
Yeah. I don't know if it's quite necessarily worth all the celebration for all the rest of the time that you've been apparently disappeared off into the ether, but
Shit, we died how many times?
whoa,
Got ripped apart, put
whoa,
back
whoa,
together.
whoa.
I didn't mention that part to Dad.
What do you mean?
Oh, so you're lying to Dad now?
No, I just hadn't gotten to that part yet.
I tell the truth
I'm sorry.
first.
We were in a bar and a bunch of humans were giving us the stink eye.
I take my fingers and I grab each of them by the tip of their horns on each side and kind of pull.
Dad, I just shined those.
Guys, hey,
I just shined those.
didn't need to know that. Also, I really don't need the arguing right now, okay? This is not exactly a pleasure cruise if you haven't figured this out yet.
Oh, no shit. It's better than where we were, though.
Well, why don't you tell me about where you were so I can maybe figure out why we're in the situation we're in now?
We ended up on some damn scientific thing. It talked about doors and portals, so I jumped on. I didn't know she was involved until I got there.
I didn't know you were going to be there either.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you mean you two didn't go together?
We ended up together, but we weren't planning. You think I want to take a trip with her?
No.
Jeez. So we end up in this fucked up place together. We end up with interns. They all died.
How many?
We each had
16 souls.
Yeah, we each had about 8 or 10 interns. But we kept sort of starting over where we would take this shortcut through the desert and there were these ruins and then a bunch of the interns would get eaten by sand sharks and we would go into this ruined building and we kept dying and starting over because Thresh
We
would
made it sometimes.
open some of the doors and that would
It was a time difference. One door would like time collapse shit. Oh, I also became a year younger.
That's good.
That's great. So now technically you're 4 years off kilter. That's great.
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, trust me, if I could have figured out that page magic that this goblin was doing, I would have made myself a couple more years younger. Got rid of some of these wrinkles.
About that time, Hendrix opens the door. Course set.
Excellent.
I hear something
Nice.
about some sort of magic. Sorry, I can't help but listen when I'm hearing.
Yeah, I serve an ancient elder evil. I vow.
I roll my eyes.
Don't think that's what he was referring to.
Over 3 tieflings on a cruise to raid a holy temple. There's going to be magic involved, Dad. I'm so stoked.
So I figured I'd help you out a little bit. We're not
Mhm.
certain how accurate these are. So he hands you a map.
Okay.
This is what we were given.
Okay.
Hopefully this helps.
Yes, you and I both. It's probably futile for me to ask this question, but who is providing you with these reports of yours?
What we need you to find is this mask. Looks kind of like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we need. You hear me?
All right. I hear you.
You'll know it when you see it because it'll be really bright.
Okay.
It'll shine like even in the dark, it'll shine.
Okay.
All right. Well, this is a good talk. We'll be back for you in about 2 days. I'm going to let you guys get back to it, but then I'm going to need my cabin back because this is where I sleep.
Understood. I'm just getting the odds and ends all put together here. Just be a couple of more minutes. I appreciate it.
All right. Don't touch any of my blades. And then he walks out.
Still think he's compensating for something.
As you walk, mostly I make sure the door is shut. I kind of mimic.
I can hear you. The doors are thin.
That's why you're supposed to do that quietly, son. Never say the quiet part loud. Lesson 1. All right. So you're telling me that you two were stuck in some sort of time vortex inside some kind of temple surrounded by sand sharks, and then what? You just pop out the other side? And
No, someone pulled us out.
and this, I'm assuming, would be the so-called priest?
You guys have no idea.
I shrug. You pulled us out, left us a pile of gold underneath. I kind of feel used.
That's what your takeaway from all this is.
Oh, I woke up in a strange bed and there's a pile of gold underneath it. I mean, how? I mean, you've been to hell, Dad. You know how these things go.
Yes. Oh, why couldn't it have been your mother's weekend? Yeah. All right. Well.
Oh, that's cute. You still talk to Mom?
Of course I still talk to your mother.
How's Mom doing?
Not bad. Not bad. You know, she gets around. It's not what I meant.
Speaking of a sea bitch.
How's our half siblings?
Oh, I don't know. Those little cretins just running around. I'm surprised they know how to put their pants on right. No, but Mom's doing fine. She sends her love. She hopes that, we can get together for the holidays and everything, avoid another one of Grandma Karen's birthdays. That'd be fantastic.
I just stay above hell.
Yeah. She's going to die at some point. She just has to. She just has to.
Yeah, that's true.
Infamous last words. Infamous last words.
I don't know. But no, I agitation aside, I am glad to see that both of you are okay. Just, if you're going to do anything like that again, at least drop me a note before you go wandering off through space and time and everything so that I'm not, left to pick up the cards afterwards.
I didn't know we pissed off somebody that cursed us like that.
I was going to send a letter once we got camp set up to do our study. And then the time loop happened.
Okay. Well, just before you leave on your next expedition. But in the meantime, let's get through this one first. So I'm confused. You get a note that says you're supposed to get on a boat and get passage. I assume whoever gave you this money in this writ was trying to get rid of you, trying to send you home. What was his motive, or do you even know?
I don't really...
We don't even know if it was a he.
We were pretty out of it.
So just the kindness of strangers here.
You heard D-Walk. You know it was a he.
Okay.
The priest had told you that somebody had got you. It was they said it was a man, big man in red. So maybe Santa. Maybe Santa saved you.
Or Satan. Just a couple of letters jumbled up. Not really much of a difference.
Could be Satan. Maybe Satan. Maybe Satan saved you.
Could be Uncle Satan. Uncle Satan may have drug you out.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Uncle Lucy's here? Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
I'm going to hell this time. Wait, been there.
So, all right. So now we've gotten ourselves in the middle of this. So we're going to need to work together on this one big happy family. But I think between the two of you, with me running point, we should be fine. This will be fun. It'll be like, that family vacation we took to Avernus a couple of months ago, or years ago. It'll be great.
You guys can feel the boat turn, like, aggressively.
Oh, boy.
Do we know which direction it turns towards?
The opposite where we'll fall.
Go ahead and roll me a wisdom.
I'll pull a compass out.
I guess if you want to pull a compass out, you know exactly.
Oh, yeah, there's my crit for the evening. Great, on a wisdom fucking check. Great. 22.
10.
Okay. Well, Rachel, you have no idea. You want to roll, D-Walk? Or you got your compass?
I'm going to pull my compass out.
Okay.
I'm going to wait till after they do it, so they kind of feel stupid when I don't pull my compass and start.
Okay. Well, it looks like they've turned to the left pretty aggressively, and then immediately turned right back to the right.
So I get the sense potentially to avoid something?
Could be. But you wouldn't know, you're inside right now. So
no, I think I've had it. I think we're good on our conversation. There's probably a good chance to step out and see what's going on.
Okay. If you step out, it's pretty obvious there was another ship in the area, and it looked like maybe a pirate vessel had sort of turned to meet them, and then when they got close enough, Hendrix had the ship turned at them. They saw what ship it was, and looks like they had thought better of it.
His reputation precedes him. Okay.
Artemis will approach you and say, from our scouts, and he like points out over the sea, you can't see anything off in the distance, just hazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He kind of lifts up his bandages, and his eyes are like bright purple. And he kind of stares off into the distance, and he goes, "Looks like you're going to have to go in through the side, so might be a little bit of a climb. You got rope?
Yeah.
Grappling hook?
Uh,
Well, we can outfit you with
Yeah.
a grappling hook if you don't have one.
Okay.
I'll have Gator come and bring one to you. Be careful in there, yeah?
Anything else you know about it?
Not really. I mean, this is pretty fresh intel. We heard it was here, but unfortunately, we have to be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
All three of us. Not really much of a choice in the matter.
No worries.
As a matter of fact, and he kind of like chuckles to himself. I don't know that if we didn't show up, we wouldn't show up anyway. Well, I guess that's life. We all must follow the path, he kind of says sarcastically before leaving out of the door.
Scratch my chin. So we have
After...
go for
Oh,
it.
go ahead.
No, we have
after-
an event. Oh. Sorry, go.
Sorry.
Go. You're fine.
Yeah, after a little while, you can kind of see what the elf was talking about. Artemis had pointed out in a direction. It was just kind of blue mist as far as the eye can see. But as you get a little closer, all of a sudden, it looks like maybe some sort of compound, like a rocky, craggy hill that kind of comes up out of the water, and it slowly fades into view as you approach. The crew, though, if you're up there, if you're paying attention, looking, they seem like they really know what they're doing. This ship kind of sings its way across the water.
About how long is the boat ride or the ride on this water?
It was a few hours, maybe 5 hours.
Okay.
You said this ship is really, like, it's nice, like it's well cared for.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like it almost looks like the wood has been oiled, and pieces that might have splintered or got old have been replaced or repaired.
So why does he have a bunch of rusty swords up on his wall?
You could ask.
I assume he's not. I assume he's busy, so I can't ask him.
I mean, no, he seems like he's up there just kind of chatting and talking to people. I mean, this is easy for them.
Mhm.
This seems like I have to go to the grocery store to a person who's never seen a car, right? Like it would look really amazing, but it's really not. It's like easy for him.
Okay.
I'm gonna, once we finish talking as a family, I'm gonna find a place and just kind of do a short rest while the boat travels.
You guys maybe have another hour until they can get you guys into a boat, a smaller boat, so you guys can make it to the edge of the rock.
All right, so we've got an hour and a half to kill before we get there. Sounds like Thresh is going to go take a nap. Big surprise. So he gave us maps, right?
Yeah, he gave you a map.
A map.
It has a front and back drawing. And it looks like a series of pathways. It's not really super distinct.
Okay. I'll at least spend some time kind of looking over that, and if Callie wants to join me, she can, and just try and see if I can gather as much intelligence as I can out of the information he's given us to prepare for whatever it is we're going to go do.
Okay. On one map, it says first level, and then the other one says second level. So you can assume then that there's multiple depths. And as you get closer, you can actually sort of see the outcropping. It looks sort of like, you ever seen Alcatraz? But without the island support around it. It just sort of comes straight out of the water up. And then it looks like there's a sort of staircase that goes up to what appears to be like a gate that's built into the side of a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a bunch of drainage pipes off to the sides that kind of have small amounts of what look like runoff kind of pouring out.
Okay. All right. Any notations on the maps or anything, or is it just
Nothing.
rough? It's okay.
Yeah, it looks like the person had written underside on it, and they spelled it UNDIRSYDE. Like a scholar.
Sure.
I hate it.
It gets the point across, sweetheart. All right. Well, I suppose we'll just in lieu of any more information, I don't think I'm going to get anything else out of Hendrix or Artemis. Gator just unnerves the shit out of me. I don't really think I want to go speak to him.
He's a creepy guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I'll just go stand at the bow of the ship and just wait for us to come in.
All right. Well, you guys are there, bro. I mean, do you guys want to
I-
do anything else?
Can I ask Prince about his why he has a bunch of rusty swords hanging up?
Yeah, he kind of stares off across the ocean, like kind of more with a more serious stare. And then he stops and he's like, "Do I look deep when I do that? Do I look like I had a meaningful?"
You looked like you were in deep thought there. Yeah.
A lot of friends I used to travel with died. We keep their weapons as sort of a mobile funeral parlor, if you will.
Okay.
We don't really have a lot of land to bury people, so
Mm-hmm.
we keep something to remember them by.
Makes sense. I was just curious.
It's okay. I think they really bring the room together. We're almost here. You guys going to be able to manage a boat to the side of the wall by yourself, or should I have someone take you out?
We can probably manage it. How will we? You said you're going to be back in 2 days?
2 days.
Okay. Where should we wait for you?
Well, looking at this place, you're not getting in the front door. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
This place has been sealed tight. But looks like the vents over there are the drainage pipes, and he kind of points. He kind of whips out a scope and hands it to you guys. Looks like those are kind of your best bet. They're about halfway up the rocky face of this sort of pillar. It's like a flat rock face. It has a little bit of grit with which to grapple on, but you have a rope, so.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a bit of a distance.
Okay. So we should wait for you there? A couple days?
Yeah, I mean, we'll find you.
Okay. And then you'll take all of us where we want to go.
That's the bargain. That's the deal.
Okay.
Hendrix keeps his word.
Can I insight him?
Yeah, you can incite him.
I believe him. I'm going to get a new D20.
He is believable. Haha. Anyway, they've prepared your boat. Off with you. We got places to be.
All right.
They seem like they're on a clock. They really do. Not trying to seem rude, but
they keep a tight ship. No pun intended.
It looks like they had intended. That's what they might have been talking about at the tavern. Which one was going to go where? And it seemed like there was a problem with that. That all three of them needed to be at a place, and they didn't want to trust the crew with the ship.
Okay. Well, I'll disembark into the dinghy and.
Disembark into the dinghy. That's the new shaft. That's the shaft of the one.
That's right. Yeah.
Tell me about your dinghy, boy.
That sounds like something Gator would say. Yeah. But I'll get into the boat. I'll help Callie down and start making bets internally as to whether or not Thrush is going to fall out.
Okay. Well, once you guys get onto the boat, it's pretty self-explanatory to get towards the rocky outcropping, and they put you out right sort of where you would need to be to get up towards those those tubes.
Okay.
So what we're looking at here is maybe, I'll say, 30-foot climb. It's not too bad. It's not easy though. So you're going to have to roll 2 climb checks or 2 athletic checks in order to get up there. And they gave you a grappling hook, and you said you already had rope. So if you'd like to...
I also have pythons. Would that help if I set some of those? Would that help them climb?
I mean, it might, but the idea of it being 30 feet might actually be more difficult than it's worth.
Okay.
All right. So 2 athletics checks.
Yep. And
Well-
you just want to... Well, I'll tell you if you make it or not.
There's my first one.
You got it.
Oh, there's my second one.
Second one you didn't got.
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of get hung up on the rope. You get up. Yeah, you got it. You get a +5 for having a grappling hook and rope, by the way, to your check. So the second one, you didn't beat what you needed to climb, but you ended up not falling. So who's next up the rope?
I'll go.
Okay.
So you said +5.
Mm-hmm.
So first one's a 15.
Ooh. Okay.
Second one's a 15.
Hey, you made it. D-Walk.
First one was a nat 20,
Yeah.
and the second one,
There's no chance of falling on the second one if you got a nat 20.
19 on the roll plus 0 strength.
You're right up the rope, so not a problem. You guys climbed up those ropes like champs, except for old man Daddy, who had a little hiccup, but he's up there. He got
It's all that armor he's packing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try and pull 188 pounds worth of fucking gear up a rope.
Not to mention my 200-pound penis.
Yeah.
God, I just throw it over my shoulder was such a hassle.
And then this damn gym bag that's full of shit for some reason.
Now I have to
But-
leave these. Now I have to leave those jokes in the beginning of the episode.
We're gonna start
Otherwise,
off,
this callback
start
will make
off
no
strong.
sense.
Okay, so I did something different for this game, and I have literally written out room descriptions for important rooms and descriptions like that. So I'm going to read those out, and if you guys have questions, feel free to follow up. Happy to help. But as you approach, you can kind of get into like a flat sort of like place where you can get your footing. All 3 of you can kind of stand up there. And the tubes look like they're made of masonry. And they sort of go into the dark a little bit. You can still see, but it's a little drearier than direct sunlight. And here's the description. As you approach the iron bars covering 3 small drains, you notice one of them has collapsed. Upon closer inspection, it seems as though it might have been from natural means. Large streams of water trickle down the side of the stony facets and along its masonry before breaking its path and falling down to the iron frame now set on its side, with a metallic drip. So it looks like one of them has sort of gone askew with age. It might be a good way to get in.
Okay.
Let's see.
You see how professional that sounded? Like it came
Yeah.
right out of a book. But it wasn't. It was from my brain book.
Keeping one eye on Dad in case he tries to throw me down the hole first.
I'm not going to throw him down the hole first.
You can't
I
go
would-
down a hole. It's a sideways hole. It's a tube.
Oh.
Yeah. I would not.
Tubes are flat.
I'm not going to throw you down a tube.
You did on my 5th birthday.
I'm not going to throw you down. Then I take my hoof and I kick him down.
So are you going into that
Yeah, I'll go in.
the tunnel?
Well,
I'll
hang
go
on.
in.
I want to make a perception check first. I want to see, is there anything integrity-wise, like if we try and move through this, like all of a sudden, is something going to collapse or fall on us or anything like that? I'm just curious to see. Because if they've sealed this place off, it's obvious to me that they don't want anyone in.
Well,
It
don't
would-
think of it as a seal. Just think of it as maybe like a way to keep, I don't know, large birds from getting in and stuff like that. The bars are pretty close together, sort of
Okay.
like what you'd imagine a screen door would do.
So abandoned, but not like plugged and abandoned. I mean,
Yeah, it's not like they
okay.
quarantined the location. They
Okay.
just sort of.
All right.
This looks like it was part of the structure, like built originally when it was
Mhm.
operational.
Okay.
With all these bars on the window, so to speak, that where if water came to a certain level, it would pour out from here.
Okay. All right. But they weren't like intentionally trying to keep people out after they left.
I mean, maybe, but it doesn't seem.
Well,
I mean, it
that's
could've
what I'm worried about. That's why I want to make a perception check.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't fucking know a goddamn thing. That's a 10.
There is some form of light coming from inside. That's pretty obvious to anyone looking.
Okay.
It's not bright, but there is light.
Okay.
Not as sweet as my awesome desk setup. Not that much light.
I'll go ahead and I'll go in first.
Okie doke. As you walk in, you see a sort of wide room. Where you guys will be entering on the map will actually be 1R on the first floor.
Okay.
On the first level, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see those 3 little patches that sort of touch the end of the map?
Mm-hmm.
They're like alcoves?
Yeah, they look like alcoves, but they're actually where the tunnels connect to the outside.
Okay, so are we coming in through the upper, middle, or lower one?
The upper one.
Got it. Okay. And that just opens up into the room?
Yep.
Okay.
The interior of the room, as you enter, is lowly lit from small luminescent pearls in the flat stone walls. To the left, as you enter the space, you see 3 bronze braziers lit with small embers, each radiating a faint glow of a different color. One a magnificent cobalt, another a muted crimson, and the last a necrotic emerald. To your right are 3 segmented alcoves. In each was a bronze rack with an array of bronze torches, unlit and lined with fine white leather. Looks like these little pearls, these little dots, sort of embedded in the masonry around the wall. They have some sort of like bioluminescence to them. They're not glowing really bright, but it looks like they just naturally emit a glow.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, if I look to the right, I've got what looks like a doorway that leads out of this room.
Yes. And also directly in front of you, off to the left, you can see there's sort of a path that comes off at an angle. And then directly to your right is sort of a wide, more open area.
Okay. But, I mean, there are fires burning here in a building that has been abandoned. So.
Well, they're embers. They're not like the brazier is down to its like bare bones.
But they're also glowing different colors, so they could be magical.
Yeah. Or they could be a particular chemical, or you don't know.
Are we all in the room yet now, or?
Yeah, you can all come in.
Look over?
Only one person at a time.
You know, with those things burning down, that could be a lock on something in here that was being held. It's like a time lock.
Do a perception check to see if there's been any recent activity in this room, despite the fact that we know it's been abandoned?
Go ahead and roll.
14.
No, doesn't look like you can discern anything.
Okay, so we just have embers.
Heavy dust on the floor or anything like that?
This place doesn't look like dust will settle. Everything's sort of wet. It looks like maybe just by the mist being surrounded by water, it sort of gets in the air. Everything's sort of damp.
All right, so no like muddy footprints anywhere or anything like that?
No, actually, inside's super clean. As far as there's no real dirt. There's no nothing.
Okay.
Anything that you didn't track in seems like it doesn't exist yet.
All right.
Are there any windows?
No windows. Everything's completely isolated from the outside, with the exception of the little portholes that you came through.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also sort of see the only light that you see, any real quantitative light that actually illuminates a room, are the little pearls along the walls. The embers have smoldered down to like when a campfire goes out.
Okay.
And only by observing closely can you see that they actually kind of have a faint light of a different color.
Okay. Can I walk over to those? I don't want to touch them, but I want to kind of hold my hand out and see if they give off heat.
They do give off heat.
Okay.
Hey, Pops, you got a normal torch on you?
Yeah.
Could I borrow it?
Yeah. I'll actually go ahead and light one for each of us.
Well, we have dark vision. That's why I don't normally carry one, but I want to see if the pearls react to another light source.
Okay, well, I'll just give them the one then.
All right.
Okay.
I light it and see if the pearls react to it, since they're doing a glow bioluminescence thing, seeing if it reacts to another light source.
Nope. Seems like they're just sort of how they react.
I put out the torch, send it back to Pops.
Okay. So seeing that this is a new religion, right?
Yes.
But this is an abandoned temple.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not like.
Oh, Nate, I'm so happy you're here.
It's not like 2 weeks ago this thing just popped up out of nowhere. I mean, when we say new, are we talking like new within a decade, new within 50 years?
Relatively new, like I don't know, a couple of years, 3 or 4.
And they've already got an abandoned temple.
Well, this temple's old for sure.
So maybe they repurposed it?
Could be.
Which means they jacked some ancient artifact.
Well,
This is going to be fun.
Well, okay. So because it's a new religion,
Fake new religion.
well, fake or otherwise, because it's a new religion, I mean, I don't know that I would necessarily be able to look at like these braziers as some sort of religious symbol, but new religions do tend to borrow from old religions that have preceded them, so everybody takes a little bit of, tradition from here and there and sticks it together and turns it into something new. I want to make a religion check to see if there's any significance to these braziers and the colors that they're emitting in terms of what they may mean. No, I'll roll a 6 or something. No, they're even worse than that. Fuck.
You were unaware of any significant attachment that these 3 colors would have to a religious anything.
I have good ideas, but no execution.
I'll try to follow up on that idea of his with a religion check.
Okay.
17.
There are plenty of religions that use colored fire, colored smoke in order to sort of add tone or context to some rite or ritual. These don't seem like any of the ones that you would be aware of, and especially not in the context of this sort of newer Scientological styled religion.
As the open discussion goes back and forth, I relay back to Pops that it isn't anything that I have in a database that I've seen.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's not that. I mean, it could be ancient, could be older, but it ain't anything current.
It's like I've been Googling religion and I just keep getting REM music, so it's not helping.
So you said that there are torches on the wall, right? Wrapped in white leather?
Yeah.
Wrapped
Bronze
in their
torches.
bronze torches, like the stick themselves is bronze, and then they have like a handle where you would carry it that is covered in white leather.
And there's 3 of those, and then 3
There's
of the
Well, no, there's a
braziers.
bunch of those.
Oh, okay.
But they're in 3 alcoves.
Yeah, alcoves, but inside the alcoves, they're just racks of them.
Okay.
There's, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40.
I'm going to pick one up.
Okay.
And I'm going to touch it to the embers in
Which one?
the... Well, you specifically used the word necrotic when you said emerald.
Okay.
I'm
I
going to
don't-
keep a good 6 feet off of him.
Well, I tell you what, before I do that, I'm gonna look at the 3 braziers. I'm gonna use divine sense to see if I can pick up anything off of these 3 as to which ones may be harmful and which ones may not be harmful. I don't necessarily expect.
What does divine sense say exactly?
As an action, you can detect good and evil. Until the end of your next turn, you can sense anything affected by the spell or know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover. I don't know if that would apply to the braziers or not, but that's what I'd like to try and do.
Well, you can do it, and you will get nothing back from it. They seem like maybe that's not part of the aspect with which they were devised.
Okay. I will touch it to the cobalt, the blue.
Okay. The torch immediately catches. There is now a blue flame atop your torch. It doesn't seem like there's anything for it to burn, but it burns nonetheless.
Okay.
Like it's literally a bronze rod with white leather. You're holding the white leather and it just...
And I have a blue
Goes
flame
up.
on the end of it, but no other effects.
You have blue light in your vicinity.
Callie,
Yes.
grab one of those and touch it to the red.
Okay.
He's setting you up. Do you see that? You see him set you up?
I'll do it.
Okay. And now you have a faint red light emanating off of your torch.
Okay. I look over at Thresh.
Hey, Thresh.
Hey, Pops.
We're
He's
two
you
for
said red? You said red, right?
Yeah. Oh, good. He's making note of that.
No, I was just saying that's what he was saying. You wanted a red one? Another red one?
No.
Deal.
We need a green one.
I insight Pops, making sure he's not setting me up. I'm kidding. I gotta grab a torch, walk over. If this goes wrong, I'm coming back. Like, wince as I touch it to the green.
Yeah. The thing catches green flame and is now suspended at the end of your torch.
I walk back to the pearls and swing in front of the pearls.
You can see the pearls slightly better now. When it doesn't change the pearls at all,
All
but
right.
there is now light next to them.
All right.
All right. Well,
I want to clarify though. The pearls that are in the wall are not like they're not big, like they're like maybe the size of your fingertip.
Oh, that's fine.
And they are in sort of like a straight line all the way along the walls as far as you can see. So it's not like they're unique. They're not like there's one of them in the wall or whatever.
so it's just a single line across the center of the wall?
Yeah.
All the way around?
Yeah, on every wall that you've seen so far, they sort of stop before you get to where the portholes are, but then continue on the other side. They go behind the braziers. They go.
Do they lead out of the rooms as well?
Huh?
If we were to walk out of the rooms, would we continue to see a trail of pearls on the wall?
I don't know. You'd have to go out there and look.
But I mean, I can see them like disappear off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get at. Okay, well, I'd say let's hold on to these torches.
I try something quick. I cast Chill Touch in my hand and I grab the flame.
Okay.
Does it go out?
Does what go out?
The end of the green flame on the end of the torch.
No.
Does the Chill Touch have any effect on it?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Like I said, let's just hold on to these. They may become important later. Or maybe not. We'll just toss them. But, all right.
This is where they used to let the kids hang out, and they just played with these crayons, light bright.
You know?
Just draw on the walls.
This is just the temple version of when you go to Denny's and they give the kids like the coloring.
The crayons and the
Yeah.
I was going to say like drug-induced rave on the second level of hell, but that works too.
And that's what the little dots on the wall are. Is a connect the dots picture of a really long snake.
So I'm pretty sure if we go in the other room, kids, there's a ball pit.
Woo! Ball pit!
So what is your next move, guys?
You okay, Ray?
Do you go left? Do you go right? Do you set up camp? Do you guys make a nice macaroni and cheese dinner?
No, I think so. I mean, basically our options are is we can head north into another room, or we can go down this little passageway and head down south. This is sort of a closed end to the quarters here, so basically we can make a round, but eventually there's only one way out. And that goes through what looks like I or 1-0. So I would say, and I'll show Callie and Thresh the map. Mm-hmm. I think we should move up through this room here and then just sort of head around to 1U, 1T, over to S, and then we can make our way back down out after we figure out what's on this end.
Do we know where in here this mask is supposed to be?
You have no idea.
Okay.
They just know that they don't know that it's in here, but they've been instructed that it's in here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we should, I guess.
Yep.
Check the...
Which way are we heading?
I'm going to say north into room 1U.
Okay. As you enter the room, you see the surroundings open up or fall away into shadowy nethers beneath. From this vantage, you can see a vast array of paths slowly muting away into a foggy bluish mist. The descent seems treacherous at the best of times, but in the dank state of the subterranean paddock, the stones seem to call for a fair modicum of respect. You are what looks like the walls that you were in the room sort of don't exist once you pass through that opening. Once you enter into 1U, it's sort of like a balcony. So you can see off the sides into what appears to be like the nondescript part of the map, and it just goes down into darkness underneath you.
So just a huge abyss in front of us.
Yeah. Also, since you were talking about going into room IT from 1U,
I just now noticed that's not a connection.
It's actually, this is like an overlook where people would come to sort of look over the area.
So
go ahead.
Can we look down into 1T from here?
Yeah, you can look down into 1T.
Okay.
It's unfortunate you would not be able to see super detailed anything, but it just sort of looks like the shape. You can kind of pick out the shape.
Even with dark vision?
Yeah, even with dark vision, it just looks like it's a little farther down, and there's nothing really to script down there. It just sort of looks like a secondary level.
How far down is it?
It's maybe 30 feet.
You want me to tie you off on a rope and have you jump?
No.
I love how cautious players are when they first get into a place. Like, after about an hour, you guys can just be running room to room. But when you first come in, you're like, okay, and then I'm going to investigate the beads.
And move together.
Tell me about the smell of the sand. It's like, what?
You did hear the part where I mentioned her jumping, not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no. Kavir would have done the same
cautious.
thing. I would have been like, which one of you has the thickest bones?
Now, if I had more spell slots, yeah, I'd probably Misty Step down, but
As the DM, I can't
those.
even make fun of the fact I said thickest bone. This is bullshit.
Bro, you and your 200-pound dick is the thickest bone in the room.
Yeah.
True. That is true. It is very
It's
true.
almost
Also,
like it's
I'm in a room by myself right now, so.
Yeah.
So,
almost like
for
it's
sure.
an inconvenient bone.
I loved that. Do more of those.
Oh yeah. All right. So basically, if we look out, we can see the level below, but otherwise, it's just like staring out into the void.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the ground. It's not like it's too far away, but you're not up close enough to it to really inspect it like you would if you were investigating something.
But given the way the map is, we could actually get to that floor without actually rappelling down or trying to jump down or anything like that.
You could jump, but you take fall damage. It's 30.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you could hang a rope off and climb down if you wanted.
I don't know. I'm just kind of like wanting to do the old-fashioned way and just walk there. But I don't know. Do you guys want to go?
Spirit of adventure. No, I'm not going down on the rope. Have I?
No, yeah. Yeah.
I am the
I don't
pretty
wanna
one,
climb down.
not the brave one. The intelligent one.
You know what? Actually, roll
Cowardly
perception checks, all three of you. Now that I'm getting sort of a line of sight here.
Ooh. That is a 21.
Okay.
Fuck.
15.
Don't ask.
Okay. Oh, don't ask. Ooh, I can see.
It's his old eyes. He just can't see shit.
You two actually get a glint of. Yeah, you can see sort of a flicker of light, like almost like candlelight. It appears to be green, sort of very, very faintly off in the distance. Though it's kind of difficult to determine exactly where.
Mm-hmm.
I lean over. Yeah, I'm starting getting the real bad feeling like Pops did when we got in the room about all this shit burning in an abandoned temple. I mean, only hell's supposed to keep burning internally, right? That and Grandma's Karen's foot fungus.
Yeah.
Whoa. We're slowly character building this bitch, and it's gross.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Nate found like the best picture for her.
Oh, we did.
Oh yeah. I'll have to share that later.
Yeah. Once the game launches, Grandma Karen.
Yep.
She's the final boss.
Oh my god! Did you guys see my notes? Grandma Karen.
I
want to talk to the manager.
I'll point out
Oh, bro, she's still pissed off about hell letting things in.
I'll point out the green light. Like, do we want to climb down and see what that is? I'll climb down and see what it is.
And this is down in 1T that we see this?
No, it's across away a little bit. You can't
Oh,
necessarily see how far out it is, but you do see a flicker of green.
Okay, so is it something she could climb to?
I don't know. You can't see it. So
Okay, so
maybe.
that's why I'm.
Yeah, like your dark
Yes.
vision isn't infinite vision. So
No, it's
Right.
like 60 feet.
yeah. So you could probably see 1T. You could see the entirety of that floor, but it doesn't look very descript, and you know, it looks like stone. Then there's sort of a weird angle into IQ, but nothing that seems out of place. It looks like more stone. And then sort of between the two, like if you were to focus your vision between the two in that direction towards where IS is where you see.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little ways out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really in favor of rappelling down into a situation I can't see. I would much rather go around from the south and just enter the room normally.
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys will all discuss, and I'm
Yeah.
sure the first 5 minutes after entering a building, you won't split up into groups.
No, that's absolutely what I'm trying to avoid, is splitting the party.
I mean, it would make it fun and short. The game would be fun and short.
Yep. Rocks fall, all die. Good night.
I don't think rocks fall is here.
Okay.
There will be falling rocks.
Oh, I'm sure there will be.
There will be. That ought to poison all of your thinking from now until the end of the game.
Perception check on the ceiling.
I don't DM very often, so I hope this isn't weird. I know, and all of the things I DM are custom made from scratch. So
sure. No, I'm fine. While we're waiting for David, let me see if I can find the.
Yeah, we did like a bunch of just world building for our weird tiefling family.
Oh yeah.
We did Grandma Karen. I think we all decided that our Thresh and Kelly's mom is basically Elvira.
Yes. Yes.
Nice. I'm sorry. I don't care how old that lady gets. Wow. She is overqualified for that dress.
Yeah, puberty was inordinately kind to her.
Yeah, we're gonna say puberty. Is that what we're saying? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Puberty and about $20,000.
There. That's what Grandma Karen looks like.
Right on.
That's Tiefling Grandma. I mean, there was actually, there were a couple of other options, but it was like
not exactly.
Yeah, no, that's the one. Yeah, she's like, what was your comment, Rachel? She's the equivalent of or she has the equivalent of the Confederate flag hanging in her living room.
Her coven is the infernal equivalent of the Daughters of the Confederacy.
So, yeah.
No. They exist here and they suck.
Yeah. Yeah, she does not like my wife. She reminds me of it constantly all the time.
You guys have this whole family dynamic.
Oh yeah,
so.
we like put all this together in the background.
Nate had the funniest joke.
You guys have a private group chat? You jerks.
And it was.
Oh yeah, well I have my own private group chat with just me.
Yeah.
It was like, here, Callie, have another one, and it was like a demon fiery horse or something.
Yeah, I was giving her ponies.
And then he goes, Thresh, I got you something red and shiny too, and it's a lawnmower.
That's mean.
Like the hellscape ain't gonna mow itself. Get outside.
So what's the plan, Stan?
Well,
go for it.
I was going to say the map here says that we can get around this place without having to like rappel down or anything like that. So I'm thinking maybe we should just head back out and go back down to that room the natural way where that light's coming from, as opposed to dropping into the darkness. But it's a family vacation. Democracy rules, I suppose.
Is that how family vacations work?
No, not at all. But
okay, I'm gonna say my family never went on
kids
vacation.
Kids get in the car. We're going now.
Yes, we can walk around.
We pull into McDonald's.
Yes.
And their dad, Odd, gets a plain black coffee and then leaves.
Oh, the John Mulaney.
Leave you kids in McDonald land. Yeah, I guess we'll go down to that little hallway down there at the southeastern corner of 1R.
Okay. Anyone wearing metal armor? Just out of curiosity. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I know.
I like asking these weird questions.
Oh, yeah, because like I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to try and stealth, and I'm going to be fucked.
Okay, so you guys have decided to go back into the room you came into.
Yep.
Correct? And then down towards that forward doorway.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to come to a split that goes left and right. Which way are you going? We hope you enjoyed listening to The Mask and the Mechanism. It is a custom game by me. Thank you so much. Our cast includes me as that guy who isn't in this game. And also 3 other people who are assholes to me pretty much the entire time. And a frog who is going to be everyone's favorite character. His name is Gregarious Pete, and he's a frog. If you'd like to support us, consider donating on Patreon. That's patreon.com/freelance_heroism. And there'll be more episodes and shit. You'll love it. Okay, I didn't bring a hat, so we're gonna have no hat. Look at this shit. Look at this.
Wow.
What is this?
That's
I know.
quite a bit.
Yeah. I look like a jazz musician. They call me Wolfman. Because my mom was a wolf and my dad was a man. He was a weird man. He used to go in the woods and fuck wolves.
Oh no.
Yeah. This is a song I wrote about the drain at the bottom of the sink. I call it Why You Spin Like That, Baby.